Few names in rock history are as deeply connected as Eric Clapton and the Beatles. He wasn't just a fan. He was part of their story. From his close friendship with George Harrison to his legendary solo on While My Guitar Gently Weeps, Clapton stood at the crossroads of two of rock's greatest legacies. Now at 78, the guitar god himself has finally opened up about the 5 Beatles songs that have stayed with him through the decades, songs that moved him, inspired him, and reminded him what real music is all about. Let's uncover Eric Clapton's 5 favorite Beatles songs and the surprising stories behind why he chose them. Number 1. While My Guitar Gently Weeps, 1968. It's no surprise that this one tops the list. Clapton didn't just love this song, he lived it. In 1968, George Harrison invited Eric to play the lead guitar on this haunting track from the White Album. At first, Clapton refused, saying, "You don't need me, you're the Beatles." But Harrison insisted. That session turned into rock history. Clapton's Les Paul, famously nicknamed Lucy, cried through every note, giving the song its emotional depth. For Clapton, it wasn't just a guest spot. It was a moment of deep friendship and unspoken emotion. Years later, Clapton called it one of the most honest and beautiful songs ever written. It wasn't about technique, it was about soul. Every time he played it live, he said, he could still feel George's presence in every bend and note. For Clapton, While My Guitar Gently Weeps wasn't just a Beatles song. It was a conversation between two guitarists, two friends, and two souls who understood that music could express what words never could. Number 2, Here Comes the Sun, 1969. Another George Harrison masterpiece, and another song that Clapton holds close to his heart. Written at Clapton's own house, Hurtwood Edge, while George was hiding from the chaos of Apple Corp's business meetings, Here Comes the Sun was literally born in Eric's garden. Clapton remembers the day vividly. George came over to escape all that madness. He had an acoustic guitar with him, sat down in the garden, and started playing what became Here Comes the Sun. It was magical, that melody, simple, warm, and full of light. Captured everything Clapton loved about Harrison's songwriting. It was honest, hopeful, and human. Whenever Clapton performs his own acoustic sets, he often mentions that this song reminds him of the beauty in simplicity. No overproduction, no ego, just joy and sunlight in sound. For Eric, Here Comes the Sun is the purest expression of George's heart and one of the greatest songs the Beatles ever recorded. Number 3. Come Together, 1969. Now we move into Lennon territory. Clapton always admired John Lennon's rawness, his ability to turn chaos into art. Come Together from Abbey Road was, to Clapton, the perfect example of that. He once described the song as a riff that walks like it owns the room. The groove, the swagger, the darkness. It was everything he loved about rock and roll. Clapton often said that Lennon's voice on this track was one of the coolest, most hypnotic vocals in rock history. He loved how the band sounded united, Paul's bass, Ringo's subtle swing, and Lennon's biting rhythm all moving like one machine. It wasn't flashy, it was feel. And as a bluesman, Clapton respected that above all else. When asked what makes Come Together special, Clapton said simply, "That groove never lets go of you. It's perfection in motion." Number 4. Something, 1969. Few songs ever captured love with such grace. And Clapton has said many times that Something is not only George Harrison's best song, but one of the most beautiful love songs ever written. Clapton's connection to this track runs deep. When Something came out, George was married to Pattie Boyd, the same woman Clapton later fell in love with and married after George and Pattie separated. The emotional triangle between the three of them became one of rock's most legendary and complicated stories. But even through that, Clapton never stopped admiring George's song. He said, "You can't fake emotion like that." George wrote from a place of pure truth, and that's why it lasts forever. Clapton performed Something at the concert for George in 2002, just a year after Harrison's passing. His voice cracked during the performance, and tears filled his eyes. That night, it wasn't just a song. It was a goodbye to his dearest friend. Number 5, A Day in the Life. 1967, for his final pick, Clapton chose a song that showed him just how far rock music could go, A Day in the Life. He has said that this was the moment the Beatles proved that pop could be art, the song's structure. Part Lennon, part McCartney, fascinated Clapton. He admired how it felt like two worlds colliding, John's dreamy darkness meeting Paul's bright optimism. The orchestra, the haunting crescendo, and that final endless piano note, it all blew him away. Clapton has often said that A Day in the Life was proof that rock music could be serious, emotional, and timeless, all at once. It was the kind of record that made even the best musicians stop and rethink what was possible. He later admitted that the song influenced his own approach to recording, especially during the making of Layla and other assorted love songs. The ambition, the dynamics, the emotion, it all started with A Day in the Life. At 78, Eric Clapton has lived long enough to see the world change 100 times, but the Beatles' music still sits at the center of his story. From his friendship with George to his admiration for John and Paul, those 5 songs remind him, and all of us, that great music doesn't age. It just keeps finding new meaning. For Clapton, the Beatles weren't just legends. They were teachers, proof that emotion will always outlast fame, and truth will always outshine noise. This has been Legend Uncovered, where rock's greatest secrets finally find their sound.
Please don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon.